Fantastic.
He couldn't get enough of it. Oh no, we're live. Stop talking about the thing we were talking about. Oh, hey! Welcome, America. It's the Eric and Rodney Show with Robin, presented by Offensively Creative and Dinsmore Steel. I'm America's sweetheart, Eric Ryan. I own Offensively Creative. That is Rod. He's the PEO god. He owns Dinsmore Steel. We have the thriller from Manila, Robin Valdez. And ladies and gentlemen, for the third time, that's a lot of times.
3 times.
With Robin. Welcome, Melissa Quinn, everybody.
Yay.
Welcome, Melissa. Welcome back.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. We're going to get into it later, but Melissa got in trouble for being offensive at work, and we got in trouble yesterday for being offensive on our show. And the message I have for America is, suck it the fuck up, you losers. Stop about things that offend you. Oh my God. There's war, there's famine, there's disease. In this country today, there's 2.5 million homeless children, but you're crying about being sad about your feelings. Shut up. Anyway.
We are offensively creative.
Yeah, we're offensively creative. As was that rant.
Yes, I love it.
That was a good rant.
Thank you. I'm very.
Well, you haven't heard anything yet.
No, it's coming, baby. Ooh, I'm worked up. Before we get to the Melissa Quinn segment of the evening, I know you're a big fan of the show, so you know every day is a day to celebrate in the United States. And I feel like we're repeating days at this point, but it's it's something I like to talk about. It's National Drink Beer Day. Yeah,
sounds like a good.
It's one of my favorite days.
Yeah. Oh shoot, I meant to get a beer for this.
I have one. I need to get one.
Up my own stupid bit. Anyway,
is it beer or alcohol? Because if it's alcohol, you could just have a bourbon.
That's beer. Beer and bourbon start with B, and they're both alcohol. So you know what?
Right.
I'm gonna light it up right here.
It's just
Yes.
Tastes like how my grandfather smells. Melissa,
like tobacco pipe.
Tobacco and shame. And Miller Lite. Melissa, do you drink beer? Are you a beer drinker?
I drink Guinness. So I drink a real beer.
Mm-hmm.
That's heavy. That's heavy stuff. That is heavy.
It's not though. Everybody says that. It looks heavy. But
light in calories, less calories than a Bud Light.
Absolutely. And there's no carbonation in it, so it doesn't fill you up and make you gassy. So you can technically drink more.
Yeah. And it feels like a meal too. It feels classy. Yeah. You know, if you show up with a Guinness to a party, you're classy.
Yeah. So ever drink it out of a bottle from the tap or from a can, because the can is specially designed.
Don't they have the ball, like the spray paint ball in there? Do they have
the ball? So it's that the nitrous ball. What is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's nitrous.
But yeah, so it also acts as an aerator. So you have to pour the beer completely upside down, and then you'll get the whole effect. You know how a Guinness settles in a glass?
Yeah, it looks like sand, sand in an hourglass. It's gorgeous. Oh man, Robin hates when I do this, but Robin, have you had a Guinness?
I have not too big of a fan though. It tastes like coins put in water. I can
coin water.
I'm sorry.
Coin water, he says.
I like that.
Currency.
No, I say like Pepsi tastes like Windex smells for me. I don't know why. So
Can I just tell you, 15 coins in this cup here, guys. I love the taste of coins.
If it was, I'd be a rich person.
You got to stop sucking on coins. I don't know why you doing that.
Yeah, See, I feel like if anybody's what you have to do, you have to drink 2 pints, right? Like once you get past the first pint, then you're like, holy crap, this is not that bad. And then you drink your second pint, and then you're hooked. I promise. You just have to get through that first one. Okay. It's like,
I ought to give it another shot then.
You should. Just drink 2 pints and then leave it alone. Like if you don't like after that, then you were meant to drink Guinness. But I do a 1-and-1. I do a Jameson and a Guinness every time I go out. And if they don't have Guinness, I'm not going to be there.
You were Irish as fuck. Do you have those and then attack the Protestants? Like what else? What are the Irish?
I mean, my hair is red. My last name's Quinn, and I drink Guinness and JMO. So I don't know how much more Irish I can be.
Oh, you're Irish?
Oh, very.
I had no idea. I had no idea.
You had no idea.
You ever sleep with a leprechaun?
I mean, am I not the leprechaun? So.
Well, happy Irish Day.
Rain on a pot of gold.
That sounds like a sexual reference. Robert, what do we got in the news today before we get kicked off LinkedIn?
I forgot we even did the news. That's right.
Y'all talk about the news?
I forgot why we were here.
Starbucks, man.
Oh yeah.
Starbucks is doing it right. So out of all the big corporations, it's very, very rare that you'll have like humane working conditions. Starbucks, on the other hand, has really good incentives. They pay for your college. They encourage you to pursue career roles outside of just being a barista. So they really try to look out for their own. So
they better.
Quite a nice story.
The coffee, they better use that money for some good.
Oh, it gets better than this. All right, so here's our boy, Robin. Did you talk about what he's doing?
Yes. So this is the CEO of Starbucks, and he's had it in him to stoop down, go to the lowest level, work as a barista for 6 months, so that he could better understand the complaints and the unionization drives.
Yes, good for him. So my first bartending job, it was at Legal Seafood. It's a chain of great.
I love Legal Seafood.
Fucking phenomenal.
That's great. That place is great. Yeah,
Legal Seafood. That was across the street, but Legal
that place is amazing. Yeah.
Oh,
that's not my house.
King crab legs. I'm sorry, go on, but it's and the clam chowder was incredible.
Clam chowder so good, right? I'll tell you why it's so good. So we were at the training store. So when a manager came through, he had to be a busboy for 2 weeks. Then he had to be a waiter for 2 weeks. Then he had to be a bar back for 2 weeks. Then a bartender, all the way up, food runner, had to work in the kitchen. So by the time he was a manager, he knew everything, and that's why Legal Seafood is run so fucking phenomenally. This guy,
that place is great.
It takes perspective.
I love Legal Seafood.
Oh, it's true. Finally, somebody at Starbucks, this guy goes backwards. For 6 months, he's a barista, and he's not just a barista in one place. He went to like remote Starbucks out in the middle of nowhere. He figured out that there weren't enough coffee cups, that the filling in too much, how to make a latte. He was fucking it up, and now he gets it. This is, and I'm sure there's blowback. Somebody has a problem with it, but this is phenomenal. This is what every.
I think this is great.
Amazing. I believe everybody should do that. Because
I agree.
How are you going to relate to your company if you don't know the problems and you've not been embedded in the process?
Oh, absolutely. Exactly. The other thing too is like so being a bartender, there's a million drinks, but I think there's a billion at Starbucks, and they're more pretentious, and it's all this goofy shit. Like, do you know what this is?
That looks delicious. I don't give a shit.
The caramel frappuccino latte,
it's like frozen.
You're very close.
Some foam on it too.
It is a caramel ribbon crunch. Okay, so this is just one new product that they force these fucking baristas to learn. So out of the blue, if you're a bartender, it's like you know what you're making, right? It's gin and tonic, it's fucking martini. Every 2 months they come up with this new shit that you have to memorize and do very quickly.
And you have to memorize it 3 times because each different size has different,
Exactly.
You're like 1 cup ice cubes, or was it 2, 3? I don't know.
If somebody does a special order, holy hell,
And there's some weirdo in the parking lot who's like, weigh the ice. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Someone's gonna go like soy milk, and then it's gonna be fucking. You don't know what to do. You're confused. Oh, and here's the thing too. You're doing it in front of chicks in leggings and Uggs, and they're bitching. They're on their phones. No one's paying attention. It's a nightmare. So working at Starbucks is a fucking nightmare. So thank God for this guy.
Yeah. People in line honking horns because they're taking so long.
Everyone's annoyed. Like if you go to Starbucks, and listen, I'm a Starbucks fan, but you're kind of a douchebag, right? It's a douchey coffee place. You
unless you order ahead. If you order ahead, then you're not in anybody's way. You get in, you get out, you're out.
That's slightly less douchey, I agree. Yeah. But this guy, he stood in a corporate meeting amongst all the guys that make $1 billion, and he goes, "Can anybody make a latte?" And nobody can make a latte. And he goes, "That's the fucking problem." I know, right?
I know how to make a latte. Can I just say one other thing too? Is that this is a very nice Starbucks. I mean, this is incredible Starbucks.
Yeah.
Right.
This seemed like New York or like...
Every time I go into a Starbucks, right? There's at least depending upon the size, there's at least 1 to 10 people running their companies out of it.
Yeah. Isn't that the original one in Seattle, maybe?
Yes, I've been. It doesn't look like a Starbucks at all, as a matter of fact.
No.
Might be the one. That actually might be his kitchen.
That might be his $1 billion kitchen.
Well, it's funny you bring up money. So they're doing okay, Starbucks. Last year, their profits were $3.3 billion. So they're doing okay. With a B. But the fact that
I thought it would be higher.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not great. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed, Eric. I'm not impressed. I got to be honest.
It's coffee. Are you serious?
I'm a simple man.
That's incredible. That's incredible. But was it Apple's like 45 trillion?
Well,
that's technology.
Right, we can't all be Apple.
Or did Apple buy a country? I forget. It's hard to remember.
I thought we owned the U.S. Was that not the case?
Yeah, well, yes, that's a lot of coffee. And look, I would prefer to go to Starbucks, but there's not a Starbucks in my town, so I have to slum it up at Dunkin' Donuts. Sorry.
You could just make a latte on your own.
Peasants.
I don't. Robin, this guy didn't teach me how. I don't know. I can't make one. It's very difficult. Make my own coffee. What am I, fucking poor? Okay.
That's the free coffee you get in a hotel room. That's always my
Here's
favorite.
the thing, though, Eric. Now, are you suggesting Eric breaks into the Dunkin' Donuts to make a coffee?
Yeah, Robin.
It'd just be easier to buy it.
I apologize for ever asking.
It's okay.
Like Dunkin' Donuts, like the hot coffee, like if you ask for cream and sugar, it's like perfect. You don't have to say I need 4 sugars, I need 1, 2 cream. It is perfect the way they hand it to you without.
You want me to give you a hack at all of these places? I'm gonna give you a hack.
Don't go.
If you're not picky, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you're in a hurry, just walk in, grab one of the coffees already made with whatever's name on it.
I'm George.
Thanks. I'm out. Thank you. When I was younger, one time,
on the
right?
pickup to go, like just look at it. But okay, this looks good.
When I was younger, one time, I did this. I got away with it. I had a reservation, and I didn't have a reservation. And the lady was like, 2 for whatever, and I was like, yeah, right here. And I guess they were in the bathroom. I don't know what happened. And they come out and they go, what in the world's going on? I go, and I said,
oh my God.
Take care.
You were the New York coffee bandit.
That's me.
Thanks for that one.
Thanks, guys. Oh, I got it on the app.
Yeah.
5-star review.
Oh my God. Most life hacks are bullshit, but this is a really good one.
That's a good one. Right? I read another one at Uber Eats. It's like, if you want to eat for free everywhere, walk in Uber Eats. Thanks.
That's genius. Holy.
I haven't done that one. I think that's pushing the boundaries, but
or you just do DoorDash and then say I didn't receive my order, and then they refund you.
Well, they take pictures now. They take pictures of you, because the guy the other day I had something and he was like, I was like,
but what's the picture say? The picture shows it's on a door. It doesn't say which door.
No, I grabbed it. I grabbed it.
Not my door.
He's like, I got to take a picture, and I said,
yeah.
Is this my bed? Try this one.
Yeah. I've done that where they hand it to you and they have to take a picture of it. Yep.
Rodney Steele, most people will play checkers. You're out there playing chess. Very, very.
Hey, if I don't find a job soon, I'll be using these tips.
I'm in 3023. You're in 2023.
Exactly. All right. Well, we fed Melissa and got her all caffeinated up for free. You're welcome. All right. What else we got?
Pay me $20 a month.
There you go. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So this next story I don't think is that big of a problem with your generation. It's more my generation and generations below me. And we're constantly struggling with this. It's about screen time and smartphone use. So it says on average that teens have about 237 or more notifications per day. So I did the math. Let's say you spend about 30 seconds interacting with every notification. That's 2 hours every day that you're just on notifications alone. That doesn't even.
How many seconds?
30 seconds.
Yeah, that's a lot. Oh, well, no, that's crazy.
I've done have you anybody else done a generation study, like a generational study, but you study like the different generations and how they, process things?
What do you think?
Best. Yeah.
Well, okay. This is their generation. Like
we're
our
idiots.
was to go out and play, be interactive and social face to face because we didn't have any other options. Yeah. I don't know. Is it not the same thing as like writing letters and notes and like I don't know. They get so much information so fast, so that's what they're used to.
Mm-hmm. I think we're information rich and knowledge poor. I'm stealing that from some meme I read.
I agree, sort of, but their generation's going to be their generation, so they're growing up like-minded people. At the end of the day, we're going to be gone, and they're here, and they're, you know what I mean?
They're not even going to know.
Be obsolete one day. Like what they're doing is
someday we're obsolete now. Can we just talk about what generation? So I'm 42. Rodney, how old are you?
45.
I know you're not supposed to ask a lady, but do you want to give us a general idea of what are you?
21? It's 21, right?
16. Are you allowed to be on the show? Do your parents know?
Melissa's 21 and Robin is 12, 13.
I'm 21 twice. You're correct.
Close enough.
Okay.
You're 12. Is that
Robin's 13. He can use the internet.
He moisturizes. That's
Robin,
why.
Let the haters hate. Everybody's jealous.
I am jealous. Look at that. Oof, look at that gorgeous hair. Somebody on the show said that there was sexual tension between me and Robin. I'm not sure he's into old white men, but if he is, I'm listening. So, Robin,
I feel you.
You get 237 notifications a day?
I would assume that's more or less, probably even more, actually.
I sent you 240 yesterday. You're not paying attention.
How many emails do you get?
He doesn't have any.
I can tell you this. I can tell you this on a day. I'm sorry. I know you asked Robin. I'll let him answer. But yesterday, I had 1,280 emails.
12.
I got 1,280 emails in my inbox. I mean, Robin, you see my inbox, so it's crazy.
Yeah.
And half of it's just foolishness.
How many?
But Robin, answer how many emails you get.
Definitely not.
Thousands.
Okay, that's you're skewing the data. But Rodney, of your 1,200 emails, how many are real? How many do you have to respond to?
Maybe 70.
Holy
I'm serious.
Still a lot.
I spend
And
most
it's like
of my day
selling me stuff.
unsubscribing.
And when I say emails, I'm talking about like spam, like all of it,
Yeah.
right? Like if I go through it, right? Because it all ends up in the same place. It's literally just crap.
And I have 4 email addresses, so all 4 get the same.
Yeah, this is just
crap.
one. This is just my one email address. I don't even check my personal and that stuff gets routed right to the.
Yeah,
you
I
guys
spend most of my day unsubscribing and report junk. And
You guys need to dick around with your spam filters and turn their notifications.
They say if you don't watch.
I don't have any notifications. That's just how many emails I get. The other thing too, right? In defense is that I'll be on a chain, like someone will be talking to someone and there's 55 replies, right?
Yeah.
Like Martin and I yesterday were on an email chain, an example, and there's 4 people on it and there's 27 replies.
Right.
So when I open it, like I don't care. I don't even know what.
And then like 10 likes or whatever, how many likes you get notifications for each of those. Yeah.
I have all that stuff turned off. I don't even turn that stuff on.
Yeah.
I don't have any of that on.
I swipe left and hit, options and I silence them.
Yeah.
You're right. It's crazy.
To Jennifer's point, yes, half of them are not remotely important, but the topic is like it distracts you.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's distracting.
It's the allure of the ding. You get that ding of that thing. You get a fucking look, right?
If you get a watch and your phone, you get like sometimes you get double dings, and then you're like, which one?
Watch. That's right, baby.
That's why you got to have a watch and a Whoop.
A watch and a what?
I have a Whoop that monitors my entire. Like my Whoop tells me when how long I've slept, whether I'm well prepared.
Nice.
What my heart rate variability.
For you already.
But this one might be wrong. This one, if both of them say the same thing, we know they're
which
accurate.
arm you're using the most while you're sleeping.
Like my doctor, you go into the doctor's office, you're like, how you been sleeping?
Let me check my Whoop.
Here it is. I send it to him. Here's the report. Here's my sleep analysis over the last 4 years.
That's
you tell
your
me,
second opinion.
He's cross-referencing his watch and his Whoop.
You don't trust Apple that much, do you?
I don't trust anybody that much.
You don't trust anything? Tell me.
That's right.
Yeah, you gotta know. You gotta fucking know. Oh, we don't need to know. I see. This is like, I do feel bad, I guess, for teenagers, but you know the teenagers used to have to like work in coal mines and go to war, right? Now you check your phone too much. Like, can we have a little fucking perspective?
I'd rather them be checking their phone than be doing something they shouldn't be doing. Can I say that?
Like what?
Like
doing something on their phone
before I'm ready.
What do you think they're doing on their phone?
Yeah, they're making plans.
Yeah,
I'm gonna volunteer for a coal mine after this show. I promise.
I think they're socializing. They're doing what we're doing, but on their phones.
I have a question. I'm not being silly. I'm being for real. Is that? I know that obviously there's still coal mines and stuff, but is that really like are people really still working down in the coal mines? Is that? I'm asking. I'm not trying to be funny.
Have you watched that? So there's that show, the Soft White Underbelly on Facebook. They do all like, I don't want to say freak show stories, but kind of freak show stories. They do a lot of Appalachia stories. In Appalachia, they're still down there, baby, getting miners lung and all that other shit.
But I just a question. They haven't figured out how to send a machine down there.
They have.
Oh.
So then I would just be upstairs like.
It would appear that hillbillies are still cheaper than the machines, if I could guess.
Yes.
If you can find the ones who will do the work, though. That's the best.
I mean, if I went down there, I'd be like, I can't use my phone. There's no signal. I don't see a break room. Eric, we gotta get out of here.
I'd be like, I'd rather have unemployment. Thank you.
Where are we sitting? They're like, you got to break stuff. I mean, that's gonna be fun for a couple minutes, and when does the real stuff start? What's happening?
Yeah.
You think down in the mine they have like beanbag chairs and ping pong tables and arcade machines, like a WeWork? Probably, I would imagine. Probably. Yeah. Well, Robin, when you get the job, let me know. Let me know.
All right, they're not gonna hire Robin. They're going to take one look at his hands and be like,
too soft.
You should be a hand model.
Last a day.
You should be a hand model, son.
He'll go for workers' comp on the first week.
Mm-hmm. They're going to look at his feet and go, I've seen those on the internet. You can't be down here.
I bought
that one I'll be guilty for.
Boy.
Look at that pedicure. You're not made for the mines.
You ain't ready for this life, boy.
Oh, look at this.
Wow.
Jennifer, thank you for running.
863,000.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Peaked in 1923. Oh, man, it has gone down significantly. Oh,
Thank you, Jennifer.
They have hired. Okay, so they have hired machines. God, we learned so much on the show.
By asking the questions, you know what it is? Because it's people.
Well, there's nothing that a machine can't do. Let's be honest. We have technology to invoke.
I always say there's nothing a machine can do, or me and Eric.
Yeah, that's right.
We want convenience. We want simplification. We don't want to do anything. We're lazy. No.
Well, we don't want lung cancer. You know what I mean? The machine.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Oddly enough.
Strangely, I know it's a weird quirk of the human existence.
We want to live a little bit longer than 60. So
I will say this though, right? I'm just being honest. I gotta believe that there are other options than the coal mine. I'm serious. Beating up people, gambling.
Yep.
Pickleball.
You can
a daily LinkedIn live show. There are options.
Oh, listen, the world is their oyster. We should go down to Appalachian, let them know about the internet. You can sell feet pics. Appalachian feet pics. Oh my God, can you imagine?
I love the fact you call it Appalachian.
What is it? Appalachia? Who was it?
I say Appalachian.
Appalachian.
Yeah. That's how we said it. Appalachian.
Appalachian.
Well, I'd hate to break it to you two, but we won the war, so we dictate how we speak English.
We do the naming round here.
That's right,
did you
baby.
win or did we give it to you? I'm just kidding.
Oh, we raped Georgia and we brought you to your knees. I don't know if you know that. Well,
I'll tell you,
North Carolina.
I'll tell you something funny when I was a kid, right? So when I was a kid, I grew up in North Carolina, and I was somewhere, and this guy had on a shirt, right, that said, it was like a Confederate flag or whatever, and it said, "The South will rise again." Yeah. And I said to my stepfather, I said, I was a kid, right? I said, "What does that mean?" And he's like, "Well, the South will rise again," right? Whatever. And I said, "Is that happening soon, or like what?" I was a kid, right? Yeah. And he was like, "No, they ain't gonna do nothing." But I remember thinking like it was something that was gonna happen and being like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, Jesus is coming back. The South is rising again. We just need to wait a little bit longer.
But I thought we were fighting South Carolina, not the country. You know what I mean?
Right.
I didn't know what was happening.
Well, thank you, Jennifer, for fact checking the show. I mean, we're all smart.
I love you, Jenny Winnie.
Yeah, we all love Jenny Winnie in the South. I hope you guys
do love Jenny Winnie. Jenny Winnie makes the best videos. By the way,
she does. I watched one the other night.
Yeah, I watch them all. I watch all of them.
I bought a bunch of skirts. They were delightful. Okay, what's next in the old the news?
In the news bag.
Yes.
Bag of news. Yeah. What's in the bag of news?
So. I know this is an American show, and we like to shit on soccer as much as we can.
Oh, I don't
yes, we do.
Soccer. I love soccer.
Right. You're the only one. You're the only one.
That's okay. I'm okay with that.
Okay, here we go.
So this story is also great because it shows just how much you can buy when you sit on a huge reserve of oil. So apparently, considering Saudi Arabia is spending billions of dollars on buying A-list soccer players, fossil fuels are quite expensive. So obviously they want to diversify out of just the fossil fuel industry. So they're buying a bunch of like $1 million of worth of soccer players.
Yep.
And they're keen on saying like if they take over the soccer industry, they're going to have a GDP of increase of at least 2% a year. That's quite a lot.
That's
they have their own league now, right?
Didn't they take over the golf world?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, they have LIV.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking about that too, because right now I'm safe from the Saudis because they're doing sports I don't give a shit about, like soccer and golf. But what if they start doing real sports like football and professional wrestling? What if they buy The Rock and Hulk Hogan? Then what happens?
I will move. If The Rock goes, I'm going to go.
If The Rock goes to Saudi Arabia, I'm not ready for it. But
here's a question though: did it say anything about their interest in morning shows? Was there anything in there about it? Nothing?
Yeah, but how many Starbucks do they have in Saudi Arabia?
That's a good question. But I like that you say that because often like I want Saudi money, but in this article, they're like, it's sports washing because they have a horrible human rights record, but they're going, if we buy a lot of soccer players, nobody will notice. I don't know if you know this. The United States has a horrible human rights record. I ran the math. There's 2.5 million homeless children in the United States, and all I do is watch football on Sunday. So we're guilty of the same thing. So,
and play on their iPhones.
Yeah, exactly. They're looking their notifications outside. But if they come calling, we're going to sell out, right? Can we just agree on this right now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But the question is, there was nothing in the article about us. Is that
not
right?
Yet?
What we're doing?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. We're working our way there.
Because get word to him, we are for sale.
We are totally
much cheaper than the soccer players. 200 million for the whole thing, and we're yours.
Tomorrow, we'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Even if they buy these players, I mean, it's up to the players if they go or not at the end of the day.
Well, they got Neymar for $100 million.
I don't even know who that is. But
This
how much
is
did they
Neymar?
get Cristiano Ronaldo for? Didn't they get him for like 100 trillion or something?
He'll go.
Doesn't he own country?
Hey, Miami can get messy. Anything can happen. Let's be
So there's 400 Starbucks. I love having a producer that fact checks. Okay, so this guy, he's a French player. Did you see how much?
He was one of the youngest.
Who is this guy? I don't know who he is.
By the way.
Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Say it again.
Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah.
He's
well, he just got. You know, he got 1.1 billion to play soccer.
Christ.
Have you seen him play?
Yeah, so he's going to Saudi Arabia and he's joining Ronaldo, who makes 200 million a year.
Now, how old are these fellas?
So they're saying that they're getting a lot of older players like Ronaldo, but this guy I think is in his prime, as Doc Holliday.
Because I've been known to kick the ball around a bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been known to kick the ball around. I'm real good with my hands, but
early 30s.
I can use my legs too.
Oh no, I think this kid's even younger than me. He's like 20, 22, 23.
Woo!
He's 23 years old.
Yeah.
Is he as good as Ronaldo and Lionel Messi or no? I don't know anything about soccer.
He must have playing soccer when he was like 14, 15. Like
not yet, but he's this expensive because he's young. And
he's healthy. He hasn't been injured or anything, and
that was the knock on the Saudi teams is they keep stacking it with like older players, but they're winning stuff and now they're getting younger players. Oh, look at
the Saudis or the Yankees.
Both. Aaron Judge is going to play soccer next year. It's going to be amazing.
Ronaldo's 38. See what I mean?
Man,
I can play.
That's old for soccer.
He looks really good for 38.
Well,
he does.
Well, because his job is to run 22 miles a day.
I mean,
so, Melissa, you like this? You like not scoring and no contact and games that last 4 hours. What is the feeling about this sport?
I respect it because I'm not going to run unless something's chasing me. So that these people who can run miles and miles, and my daughter played. Both my daughters played actually. So I don't know. From watching her and like actually learning, I also dated a guy from England for 5 years too. So I had
How are teeth? They don't brush well over there, right? Their teeth are always
I mean, they do now. Back in the day, probably not, but now they do. They're good. They still don't have dental insurance. That's why.
I tried out for soccer when I was a child. Just as a note here, and
I agree with you, Jim.
I'll tell you what ended up happening here is a few of the kids were from Mexico.
Yeah.
And I didn't know where the ball was or where I was. And they said, you know what, maybe soccer is not for young Rodney.
Yeah.
And I agree with Jenny, but at the same time, Jenny, now football can end in a tie too. So
yeah,
I'll just say this. One sport I was exceptional at, if that's a professional league they're interested in, is kickball. Very good at kickball. Yes.
Great game.
I'm pretty good at flip cup if we do it like a
that's a good one too.
Yeah,
I'm just brainstorming. I'm really, really good at pickleball. If that's just thinking.
I didn't know you played. You played.
Yeah,
pickleball?
I know. Well, I want to get word to MBS. Robin, can you get word to him? Do we have his email address? Let's let him know about it. I'm for sale.
Fastest growing sport right now everywhere. Pickleball. Everybody wants to play pickleball.
It's because I talk about it a lot on the show, so it makes sense. I mean, I get it.
They're calling it the game for elders, though.
Mm-hmm. The game for elders. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's exactly right.
You should try pickleball.
Yeah.
If I had started
tag on now.
As a child, I would be professional by now.
Well, Melissa, if you find soccer entertaining, wait till you see The Rock give Hulk Hogan a rock bottom at WrestleMania. It's so exciting. Oh my God, it's tremendous. All right,
I was obsessed with him, and
I like The Rock. I like him.
Like literally obsessed with him.
He's a national treasure.
Everything. Then I found out he was married. I didn't like him.
Yeah. Okay, you want to do the art story real quick, and then we'll do some lunatics and get Melissa the job.
Okay. So our last story covers.
Sorry.
Oh, thank you. It
always
does.
Does.
Exceptional. Yeah, no, it does, but today's even more. I just
very much.
Go on.
Also, too. I appreciate it.
It does look good.
What else we got?
Sorry.
No,
the last story kind of bothers me because it just explains why modern art is full of BS, and why for me Bob Ross is forever immortalized in my heart. So Bob Ross was great because you'd have a painting full of like these happy trees and it screamed positivity. Now you have artists like this Danish scumbag who submits 2 empty canvases to a museum, and he titles them "Take the Money and Run," and the other one is called "Work It Out." So it's still being praised by lunatics for modern art. I just hate it. You've seen pieces where it just looks like the artist put skid marks across a canvas and it's like sits at an art convention.
I agree with you. The only thing funny about this is the title, which is "Take the Money and Run." But then he didn't take the money and run because the museum got their $70,000 back from him. They gave him $70K and he turns in 2 blank pieces of canvas. I mean, Jesus, right?
Yeah. This looks like some of my work. Someone's been stealing.
Yeah. No, it's incredible. But I think art does nothing for me, really. And part of the reason I have that Basquiat right there, like I've talked about this before. This is Dust Heads. Okay, that's what I have. It was sold in 1982 for $48 million. Like, it's goofy. It looks like a kid did it. $50 million for the fucking thing. $70 million for this.
I'll take a paintbrush and fling some paint around and have that, like, splatter look on it and do the same thing. So
yeah, I could do little Jackson.
That's like the Jackson Pollocks, right? They're like like this, right? I would think this, right? And I'm not an artist, but in any of the art classes I took as a child, if I showed up with this, they would be like, "What is he doing?" They would be like, "This other piece on the line, the young RS here is taking it to the next level."
They would put you back down to pre-K, and you have to do it all over.
They would have called my mom and been like, "You know what? Forget about the meeting next week. Get down here now."
We're gonna have to move him to a different room, different classroom.
Maybe he just stays home.
You deal with it.
You like that one, Eric?
Oh, I love it. It's
homeschool. Maybe he just stays home.
It was classic. You know who loves homeschooling? Anyway. All right. Art too. So Rodney, I know that you saw Exit Through the Gift Shop about Banksy and Mr. Brainwash. That shit appeals to me. I think it's aesthetically pleasing. I mean, this, nothing. Someone's getting phone calls.
Much, right?
I don't know where that's coming from. Sorry.
It's not me.
I don't know. Hold on a second.
Ask them if they want to be on the Eric and Rodney show with Rodney.
Tell them they're live.
Ask their opinion about art.
Eric,
they're calling in about it.
This picture with Basquiat, was there an interpretation on what it was?
So it's called Dust Head. So this is 2 people on PCP. They're on Angel Dust.
Makes sense.
But all of Basquiat's stuff looks like this. But
Wasn't he a Satanist as well?
I don't know.
No, he was on dust.
Yeah, he definitely loved his drugs.
He was a dust head.
Andy Warhol took him under his wing, and he ended up banging Madonna. And I'm not talking about 2023 Madonna. I'm talking about prime mid-'80s Madonna. So not bad, right? Yeah, like peak Madonna. He was sleeping with peak Madonna off of art like this. So, I mean, there's some credibility to it, I guess. 50 million and you get to bang Madonna. Not bad. Okay. Before we get to Melissa, do you want to do a couple of LinkedIn lunatics?
There's always a lunatic around the corner.
There's
that's where I think they that's a breeding ground, right? For LinkedIn is lunatics. I feel like it's getting exponentially worse. And talk amongst yourselves while I load these up. But man, LinkedIn has become a cesspool. It's just I think it's arguably the worst social media platform.
Yeah, we still stream on it.
Well,
I feel like Microsoft just gave up on LinkedIn.
They must have.
And the other thing is that LinkedIn has no competiters. Who competes with LinkedIn, right? No one.
I know.
If we get booted off LinkedIn for being too controversial, would this show still go on, you think?
Yeah, because
of course,
a whole bunch of other like actual social media platforms. All right, I'm gonna pull up one more before we go. So there was a common theme with these lunatics that I picked out. We haven't done it in a while, so there was plenty of fertile breeding ground. These are less funny than they are audacious. So let's start with this one. So this guy, we're gonna blast through this, but the first life update: I lost my father 2 days ago! !
You're already laughing.
Like like on his father's deathbed, he goes, Dad, I promise you, I'll turn this into a social media post. I promise you. And then he shakes him and he dies. But anyway, the whole point is his father, it was his whole life. His mother died a few years ago. He doesn't know how to function in the world without his father. And then he asked LinkedIn for suggestions. Okay. He's a big perfectionist. Okay. So this guy deals with death. Okay. This chick, 18 months ago, I visited a terminally ill friend. I'll never forget her final word. She says, what is it, Isla? Never complained about anything. So she goes on and on about her diagnosis and all the life lessons she was learned. And then somehow she works in a selfie or a candid bead shot, right? Okay. This guy... So this guy goes, imagine that the person you love the most in the world is taken from you and you have a choice between two doors. One's $10 million, another is a month to spend with your loved one. Then he shows up at a mother's memorial for her dead daughter. It's not even his death that he's trying to capitalize on.
Wow.
Like, this is getting sick, isn't it? Death. Okay. And then we have this chick. I had LinkedIn friends. I was in a really bad accident after being robbed at gunpoint and shot 5 times.
Why is this
Please share with your network. I'm open to corporate agency roles.
They do.
How's she going to do it though? She's in the hospital. Is this? Hold on.
Yes. She's looking for a job and she does the picture of her in a hospital bed. Now, LinkedIn, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I know that
there's something you just didn't share.
Did you ever hear the LinkedIn story about the dog?
Yes.
Quick. Yeah, right. It's like
tell the LinkedIn story about.
It's
unbearable.
Today I was on my way to an interview and a dog ran across the street and I stopped without running over it. And I thought, man, I'm going to be late. I got late to the interview. I get to the interview. I was interviewed by the dog.
The dog was the hiring manager. It was unbelievable.
Oh, Lord.
What in the world?
Yeah. Don't you think this is peak? Like there's nowhere to go from here, right? Like if you go, oh my God, that's a memorial to a dead girl. I better take a picture and make a social media post on a networking website. It's jumped the shark. There's no coming back from this, is there?
Yeah, Fonzie has jumped it.
Yeah. I have no words for that one.
I thought at first when you first popped it up, I'm like, damn, that's a bizarre looking album cover for Turd Cruz's first album.
It's his acoustic work. If you
it's
haven't heard
Blink 182 one more time.
That's
it.
All right. Poor LinkedIn. Okay, Melissa, we have to get to your story here because
okay.
Shall we talk about your offensive comment, or just give us a little background on what happened?
Okay, I don't know how. Okay, yeah, all right. So I'm gonna give my T's and C's up front. I apologize in advance if I may say or speak about anything that may offend you or anybody you know, and especially if you're from Oregon. And here's my question: How can you offend somebody who lives in Oregon?
Great question. Right.
That's my question.
You live in Oregon
apparently by saying anything.
Well, okay. I didn't even say. I was running down for you. I was in an internal teams meeting, and it was me, my boss, my technical guy, and a dude with the software company that I was selling for. All right, he's our partner. We're partner. I don't work for him. He doesn't work for us. We're just partners, right? No customers are on the call. And he starts off, I've never seen him. He introduces himself. He says, from Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm like, me too, right? And then he goes, well, I haven't been in Greensboro for 17 years. I've been in Oregon. I was like, oh, Oregon, cool. The state where anything goes. I heard it's beautiful there. I've always wanted to visit. That's all I said. Conversation went on for 30 minutes. We wrapped up, yada, yada. 2.5 hours later, apparently he had called my boss directly. And this person doesn't have a title. Like they're just a software integrator technician, right?
Okay.
And he goes to explain how deeply embarrassed and offended he was by my drug reference.
Oh God. So the drug reference you didn't make.
The drug reference
drugs are illegal. Oh boy, that's a doozy. You better be careful about that thing.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I don't know if anybody knows about Oregon, but yes, all known narcotics are decriminalized for personal consumption. It is a right to die state. Yeah. They did a whole reform on their education that went to So like that.
You could have been referencing anything. It
right.
was his inference that you were talking about drugs. That
Right.
got fired.
So my question is, how do you?
But why is there an inference of that? Because here, can I just say something, right?
Yeah.
If you said you're from whatever state, I know there's a state called the Show Me State, and I'd be like, well, that's where you see everything.
Right.
Is that in reference into you being naked, or is that in reference to the state? So let me ask this question, right? Just putting on my legal hat.
Mm-hmm.
What's the motto for Oregon? Jenny, can you find it for us? She'll get back to us.
Well, my question is, to be deeply
how do you even know that's about drugs?
To be deeply offended, you have to resonate with what I said. And what I said had nothing to do with a human being. Now, you can be embarrassed of your state's reputation. That's fine. But to be deeply offended on a comment I made of a inanimate object, which is a piece of land. Right. I made a comment and I didn't coin it. I was repeating a headline I had read 2 days ago or 2 days before that meeting. And that's why it came flying out of my mouth. But like, here's the thing. The guy laughed after I said that comment. The guy laughed and said, I've heard that before. And then we kept on moving on. So.
Can I ask you this? Is he a white guy?
Yes.
Okay. We were accused of being racist yesterday, so I'm going to attack the whites.
Okay.
White people need to stop embracing this weird I'm offended thing to be victims. We've victimhood, right? It's constant victimhood. You're a grown fucking adult male in the United States. Don't get offended by an offhanded comment about nothing. It's embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing. Yeah. Oh, victimhood.
That is.
Oh, please.
Well, even if I had gone on to say, the state where anything goes because every drug is legal, that's another thing. I didn't mention the word drugs or anything.
Even if you go, I love drugs, druggy drugs. I'm on drugs right now.
How would that deeply offend you?
That's how enough to get you fired. That's fucking ridiculous. Stop it. What people do recreationally, nobody should give a shit about. So even a passing reference about something that, it didn't know.
Yeah, that's wild.
But while I'm being, I was surrounded by, corporate men at the time I was being told all this information. So I'm kind of like, first of all, it's 8:30 in the morning. I had literally walked in, had no recollection, what had happened. And, they sit me down and I'm sitting there like, whoa, okay. And they're like, what'd you think about that call? And I said, well, it all went kind of good. Why? Why? And then be called and then say deeply offended and embarrassed. But another problem is, it's like, why didn't my employer ask more questions? Like, why did they who is this guy? Like, that company sold probably about $5 to $6 million a year in software for them. So this non-titled person had an opinion that was so strong that they wanted to sever their ties with $4 million a year off of one comment.
I mean,
nobody.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Can I tell you how I operate? Here's how I operate. If someone said that to me, if somebody called me up and said, I'm offended by such and such, I would say, you know what? I'm offended. I'm offended that you're offended.
Yeah.
Get out
Well,
of here.
I was, because, I hear the word offended, and that is definitely not something I want to do in the business world. Actually, I take pride in myself of not offending and being neutral in the business world to a fault. But and then I can read a freaking room, right? And I just, why would you laugh? Why would you laugh at it and then be offended?
I think they're intimidated by strong women, confident women. The way
that happens a lot.
Well, I think I made him look stupid because I started asking him questions later in the conversation. I started asking questions about what he does and about software integrations because I know a thing or two about it, like 24 years about it. So, I asked him certain questions and he didn't have the answer. So I wonder if he was.
That's what it is, then. I listen. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong.
Yeah.
But that's why he complained. I can tell you right now, it didn't have anything to do with Oregon. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't. I say more offensive things to Eric daily.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, and we're just talking. We're just having a conversation.
Yeah. Jenny, please play devil's advocate. While you do
Jenny,
that,
tell us.
While you do that, I'm going to recreate the phone call. Yeah. Hi, Bob. I'm a grown adult male in the United States. My feelings are hurt. And I can't do anything on my own. I'm offended. I'm a victim.
Yeah.
Victimize me. Okay, great. Oh, fire Melissa? That would be amazing. Okay, great. She hurt my feelings. My feelings hurt. I'm a grown man, but my feelings, like a child, I don't know how to process this.
Yeah, but I mean, and the thing is, like, I don't know. I I just want to know what the hell I did.
Crazy.
And here's the thing: it's like nobody's calling me back. Nobody will give me.
Now, how long ago was this?
What my termination was for? Like nothing, and they owe me money.
Now, let me ask you a question. How long ago was this? Is this recently?
Yeah, this was August.
Okay, so this is what, September? Yeah, that's recent.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a devil's advocate. What I'm saying is he interpreted it like a victim because he needs to feel better about himself, and he can't. He handles his feelings like a baby, and he.
But what does he relate to that made him,
I think what it is that, well, I'll tell you what it is. This is what it is.
As a,
he was offended, but I think he was offended because he didn't have answers to questions you were asking. So instead of saying, he can't call up whoever and say, listen, I've been doing this. I'm a moron. I don't know what in the world she was talking about. She outsmarted me at every angle. He's going to say, you know what? How can I make her look bad or what? I mean, I'm brainstorming, right? I'm just thinking this is what I think happened. So he was like, you know what? I'll say I was offended by that comment. Because he certainly can't say that you offended him because you outsmarted him and knew more about what was going on than him. I mean, he's going to look like an idiot, a stupid.
Yeah,
right.
To be offended is it's a human, reaction, right? So what about that comment was based at all about a human being?
I think he was grasping at straws, and instead of saying I don't like her, or I don't want to work with her because she's smarter than I am and knows more about computer integration than I do. He was like, you know what? I'm offended because she said whatever, anything goes in, or whatever it was you said. I don't remember now, but something trivial as that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Oregon, the state where anything goes.
Right.
Not where
so he hung his hat on that, right?
Not where anything, But to make that a drug reference, I mean,
there was a couple of them too, because to fight
I'm offended. Like, why do you think it was a drug reference?
Yeah. Why you say your name's drugs? Bob, what's his name? Can I call him Bob?
Which makes me to believe what I know about human behavior and how minds work is that maybe he's a drug addict. Maybe he's the one doing the meth in the basement because it's legal to do so, and maybe that's why he was offended that nobody else knew about that, but I brought it to a head in the conversation.
When I think. Okay, so it was like lactose intolerance and then gluten intolerance, being offended intolerance. Like, why this new shit? Like, is the current zeitgeist where everyone's offended by everything? Are we having a better time? Is life better now? Are we happier that we can laugh at everything and we're worried all the time and we put on a mask and a persona as not to offend anybody, even when you don't mean it? It would be one thing to go out of the way and go, fuck redheads, they're big dumb idiots. But to go,
and the thing is like you can be offended, but in this case, the defense is measurable. So by his comments and what he has stated, which was basically slander and defamation of my character, it's measurable. I put $500,000 in their pipeline in 2 months. Whoa. So
well,
how much does he owe me from his
pipeline? We'll hire you right now. Listen, I got your resume. I get your resume. There it is.
Your resume.
Your
resume.
The resume.
Resume right here. $500,000 in 2 months. What can you do for us? Jesus. Jesus.
All right. So let me ask you a question then, right? So walk us through, right? What exactly you sell? And you got to remember, I'm an idiot. So
I can sell anything, and I say that with just bear with me. Just bear with me. I'm more of a business developer, so I help businesses develop their ICP. So, and I have to take that from my last gig because they put it in words for me better. ICP. So ideal customer, profile. So you can sell to the masses all you want, especially when technology, which is what I used to do, everybody's using it. So you have to sell smarter. So you develop who you should go after, basically. Like, don't go after everyone. Have a direct, purposeful, mission, if you will. And that way you can win faster and lose quicker. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You're not spinning your wheels trying to get to people that at the end of the day are probably not going to buy from you as much as what these other people will. So you can focus your time and efforts on that and on them and get into them quickly and get into decision makers quick. I don't deal with non-decision makers. So I spend a lot of time researching authentic connections. So especially in the South, you want to get.
And what size companies are these? Like what's your ideal client? So these are like 1,000 person, 500.
Yeah, Last gig I was doing major general contractors that are doing millions of dollars a year in things. Actually, I'm on it for and keep Portland weird.
That is.
I'll say that next time, but then I'm going to offend somebody.
No, what do you mean by weird, huh?
Right.
Unbelievable.
That's a drug reference. Be careful.
Yeah. All right. So
to answer your question, Rodney, anything in the technology world I'm pretty good at. But it doesn't matter. I help develop, sales teams and methods for businesses, because not all businesses are the same,
I think a big problem. I'll say this.
I'm a hunter.
So, that's what I was going to say. Like from knowing you and talking to you and whatnot. One of the things I think, and you guys chime in, but I think that, and I've been in sales for my entire life, but there's very few people that can generate, right? Everybody
Eric the farm. That's easy.
Yeah, exactly. Like if people will be like, oh, he's so great. He said, I used to work at a company, right? When I first got into PO, where they literally, the corporate office gave one rep every call in, and they were like, he closes so much business. Of course, anybody would. They're giving it to him, right?
They're calling in. They're coming to you. That's easy.
But it's very rare to find someone that can hunt, and it's very rare, because you always find people, right, in sales, and you know this, and you're on the sales team, right? There's 2 people on the team. If there's 10 people, 2 of them are carrying the team, and the other 8 have 100 excuses why they haven't closed anything.
Yes, we call them bridge jumpers.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're chasing bridges and ramps,
Exactly. Right. They'll be like, I got 500 cases in the, I worked at another place, and the guy said to me, he goes, that's my account. I said, really? They had never heard of you. I said, and you better get it sorted, because I just closed the deal with them. So I don't know what to tell you.
That's
trying to find out it wasn't his account. Yeah.
They didn't mention that.
I called the owner, and I said, so I called the owner. I said, do you know this guy? He goes, I never heard of him. I said, I don't know you. I said, don't worry about it. He goes, who is he? I said, he's irrelevant.
Yeah, I'm not a lazy salesperson, and I don't even like to call myself a salesperson, because I don't
problem solver.
Well, yeah, I'm the relationship builder, right? I'm going to be the handshaker, the face, the first face they see. I'm going to sell myself and the company first before I even mention products or anything. I'm going to do my research. I'm going to make sure it's authentic. I'm going to be in front of them in person. Not we send them 100 different LinkedIn messages. Hey, connect. I don't do it that way. Yeah. It's more purposeful. It takes a little bit more time. It takes a lot more effort, but it works because when you go against clients, it's all about trust, right? And when you're building new clientele, the reason why you don't have them already is because they don't know who you are or they don't trust you.
Right.
You've been pretty successful too, because as I recall, you have 4 boats and a flamingo farm.
Yeah, still got the boats. Smashed a finger the other day on one of them. So my wake boat is back in the shop.
Okay.
Shockingly back in the shop. But
boat is an acronym for break out another 1,000.
Absolutely. Get a boat, they say. They didn't tell you don't get a boat if you don't have a job either, because that shit's expensive.
I was with my brother-in-law, right, a couple of weeks ago, and he says to me, we were looking at some kind of boat. I said, that was probably like, what, $100,000? He's like, that's like $1 million boat. I said, get out of here.
Yeah.
And then he goes, I said, well, there's no way that's expensive. That's like a dinghy. He goes, it's probably like $12,000.
Yeah.
I said, get out. It was a nice boat, but I said, get out of here, man. I'm getting
ready to trade in the wake boat for another wake boat, the hybrid one, the one that can go to the ocean and to the lake. That's chaparral. And the brand new one that I priced online was $385.
$385? That's it.
Wow. Go back too.
It's about this big. It's a model size of the real one.
$385,000 for a boat. Can you live on it?
No.
Can it make us money?
Yes.
Is it made out of cocaine? Is the whole boat cocaine?
Well,
I know where you're going with that. No more drug references, Jesus. All right, Robin, what's the
Stay away from the drugs. Robin, has there been a crash?
Yeah. No.
Jenny wants to know what game is behind Robin.
Oh, Jenny, I'll bring it to you.
I've played that game. I've played that game.
Is it good?
So it has has memes on it.
You have to caption it, right?
And the guys from Fuck Jerry actually made that game. What do you mean? And they also did the advertising and the stuff for the Fire Festival.
Maybe
I
we
like
should do
Cards Against Humanity. That's one of my favorites.
It's my favorite game. I have them all over here.
But have you ever played with your own 12-year-old? Because that was a little weird.
That's a little weird.
I was like, we can't play this game, Quinn. That was a long time ago, though.
You guys ever shut off the light and play Who's in My Mouth? Is that a game that you guys remember?
That's a classic from Dane Cook.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. No one ever gets that reference.
That's why we're partners.
Yeah. That's Dane Cook's greatest joke.
It is. I used to say it all the time.
Oh my God.
Like, and then people be like, what do you want to do? I like, let's play a game. Turn the lights off. I wonder what happened to Dane. What happened to Dane?
I asked myself, he got like everyone loved him. He was selling out Madison Square Garden, and then he got the Nickelback treatment. Then everyone fucking hated him. I was like, all right, I guess I hate him too, but I don't know.
I don't know. And he's from Boston, right? Isn't he from Boston?
He is from Boston.
Well,
yes.
People develop feelings and being offended, so
That's true.
Yeah, remember he used to say Sufa.
No, but he didn't want anybody searching through his backlog of his social media and everything. Like,
he just got married. His wife, he was dating someone who's like 21 years old, and he just got married.
Yeah, and his brother
and he completely changed his face too. His face is like
he looks like Joan Rivers now. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, it's bad news.
But Melissa, speaking of being offended, we had a guy on Monday who did a documentary with Jackie, the Joke Man Martling from the Howard Stern show, and he was showing in the documentary they talk about a bunch of bits that Stern used to do, just like Robin was talking about in the green room. Any 5-second clip of the Howard Stern show in 1998 would get you shut down immediately.
Yeah,
you'd be gone.
Those were the days.
Wasn't it better? Wasn't it funnier? Wasn't life more light and airy? Now we can't say. I made an Asian reference.
Yes, free speech was free speech.
Yes, I got an Asian guy in the show. We're joking around about Asians, and they called us racist. I mean, I don't think I'm racist. I'm just acknowledging that Robin's Filipino and that you're a redhead and that Rodney likes.
I'm totally fine with it.
I'm cool with it.
It's usually never if you're making an Asian joke, it's usually never the Asians that get mad. It's always a white guy.
Thank you. We love being offended on other people's behalf. It's
That's
like white people can't get it up and like, oh, I'm offended because he might be. Like, shut the
I don't think you can say that for every race, though.
It depends.
Maybe just the Asians. Maybe because y'all are the coolest.
Well, we can't talk about we can talk about whites and Asians because they're on the show and redheads. But yeah.
And pickleball players.
Oh, see, Dane's
perfectly shattered.
I love it.
I know. Poor Dane.
Did everyone catch the Republican debate last night?
Yes.
I just watched the highlights. Lord is sweet Jesus. We got to move. Robin, you got room in the Philippines for the
too early for me to say anything about anybody yet. I have to still do some more research.
I will.
That Vivek, he's fiery.
I like him.
He's
should have on the show.
Oh, do you have his number? I would love to.
We don't have a lot of really good choices.
I'm a pretty good stalker. I'm just saying it helps me in my hunting. I can probably find it.
All right, listen. While you're looking for a job, can you get Vivek's information? Maybe we can get him on the show.
Yep.
And listen, anyone who wants Melissa's resume can contact us. We'd be happy to pass it along. I don't know if you heard, but she got $500,000 in 2 months of pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine that there's any company in the world that wouldn't want $500,000 in 2 months of pipeline. I
can think of one. I can think of one company.
Pay me for it. I had 2 more months left.
I can think of one organization.
Yeah. Who? You don't want to divulge on it.
The idiots that let her go. They don't have any sense. This is what I don't understand, right? You never, like the world I come from, I know it's a different time now. The world I come from, they're like, you're offended. They're like, well, you better stick around. You're going to get light you up.
You better put your seatbelt and helmet on if you're with me, because if you're going to be offended off of that statement. No.
They used to make decisions like The Sopranos. Who earns more?
Dang.
Get rid of them.
Wow.
Well, your feelings matter like your bank account.
That's true. All right. Well, listen to our audience. Melissa needs a 5th boat, and she needs to fix one of the 4 she has. So let's get some.
I have to start selling some in a minute.
See, if you want $500,000 of pipeline in 2 months, you know who to call. It's the Eric and Rodney Show with Robin. We'll put you in touch.
That I can guarantee you.
We don't even have a phone, but call us.
Call us now, Robin. What's the number?
Oh, my phone's ringing.
What's Jackie the Joke Man Martling's joke line? What is
516-922-WINE.
There you go.
WINE.
Yeah, good.
There you go. That's how you get in touch with Melissa Quinn. All right, we should probably log off. Great episode as always. Thank you for being here for the third time.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Once we get you hired, are you going to come back for the fourth time and announce it? It should be, I would imagine, this time next week.
Your first day there.
Jenny Winnie can't have more shows than I do.
That's true. You got to come back.
That's her own show.
That's right.
Yeah, Jenny Winnie. All right. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you tomorrow, where Robin and Rodney are going to have their human design charts read by a professional.
I love that.
Yep.
Scared.
Can't wait.
Live on air. All right. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Bye.